Hi Libra, welcome into your weekly reading. I hope all is well in your Libran world. We're of course going to jump into the tarot and see what the week has in store for us. So as I do the initial shuffling, I did get the message in one of the previous attempts as well as right before this attempt of massive amounts of motivation and determination. It feels like you're very driven throughout this week and surrounding it to get little things accomplished, to maybe tidy up, get your life a bit more organized, maybe to get back on track with certain goals, or one in particular, say it's your health, your fitness. It could be in regards to a business, a project, a job, something of the sort. You may even feel motivated to get reacquainted, re in touch with certain people that you have drifted from. Anyways, but let's do that shuffle once again and see what we have for Libra. Five of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. I'm hearing you're learning a lot about what lies ahead. There's a feeling of you thinking about what you don't have throughout the week, right? But Spirit's saying, for the majority drawn to the reading, like myself, you are to, point the finger towards yourself in regards to what you've done as far as overspending, overdoing it, maybe not putting enough attention in detail, resources towards that connection or that job or business, whatever it may be for you. But Spirit's saying everything is happening purposefully. And I also feel like in the midst of you feeling you don't have something, right? Or maybe you feel a little bit lost or out of place somewhere, and so therefore you don't have, or you need something to replace that situation and upgrade, if you will. You have a lot of options, but I also feel like you're thinking about how to strategically manage all that you have on your plate, but even more so what you're going to have on your plate moving forward, because it feels like there's a door or two to open and upgrade. For some, it could be more so things growing and prospering, developing, and so therefore you have more to do, more obligations, more on your plate. But I feel as if it's a week of creative and intuitive solutions, ideas popping up left and right, and you can't help but feel like your mind is one of your greatest tools. Now, when it comes to stuff like that, but also when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to gradually seeing yourself get ahead, I also feel like in one way you feel like you're starting to get back on track or get ahead once again. But in another category of your life, you're feeling a sense of lack once again, and like you're not making much progress, or you're even declining in progress, right? Say you don't have a ton of money coming in, but you're still spending some. Something like that. The Tower card, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. There's an end or a minimalizing of a bad habit or a routine that was costing you money or making things more difficult or causing a blockage or levels of stagnancy somehow. And I feel like you're also putting an effort towards an ending moving forward. This could be minimalizing or an elimination of your free time, or some of which. It could be you seeing that your job and or your living situation has to come to an end eventually. You may already know this, but I feel like for a lot of which there's a contract that's coming to an end. I feel like you're preparing for, whether you realize it or not, for a new beginning of some sort in your life, and Spirit's saying that's going to open up doors moving forward. It's going to trickle into more abundance for you. There's a feeling of at times you being a type of soul like myself, guilty as charged, where you think that something at hand is good enough or has its pros, and therefore it will help you propel forward. But there are times where a change in that situation in the near future that you're not aware of, that you can't see yet, prepare for. It could be more in regards to how it actually is affecting you negatively or isn't actually pushing you forward as much as you think. Spirit's saying that may remind you why a past situation had to come to an end and therefore push you towards more and upgrade you. But Spirit's saying it's a smaller version of that. It feels like where you're living, where you're working, maybe who you're connected to, something of the sort, or where you're getting something done. It's just feeling like something needs to change moving forward, and that might already be in the motion, right? In the motion, in the midst of seeing that change come to be. Anyways, but I feel like you're on the go, at least for a lot of the week. It feels like you're ready to, I'm hearing march towards what you deserve, a sense of honor and pride in regards to all that you're able to confidently and courageously leave behind, begin again, right, to embark upon. Spirit saying change isn't always easy, but when you're able to initiate it and then flow with the changes that don't feel within your control or even fully within your control, that's where your power lies. All right. Intertwining that with the power of your mind. As I just flipped over to the Ace of Swords. So 5 more cards on the board. Feels like a week, Libra, where your mind is a bit, it's kind of racing. Let's just put it that way. It is your best tool, but when Spirit speaks through your mind, your thoughts, your dreams, when you find that your old habit of overthinking comes into play, or you just are very methodical, very analytical, and just well thought out, I want to say, it can feel like a bit of a whirlwind at times. But it feels like as well, people are also thinking about your mind. How do they do what they do? Why are they the way they are? Why do I know this or that? Why do they know this or that? Stuff like this is coming into play. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is a week in the midst of what feels like a lot at times. But you choosing this lifestyle, at least for the most part, you're gaining a little bit of clarity in regards to your, I'm hearing positive, independent endeavors from the past and more so moving forward. You might gain a vision or an intuitive hit of some sort. Regardless of how that comes to be, feels like it's very much tied to advancement for the future for you. Beautiful. But you can't help but it's inevitable for you to, you just end up thinking about at certain points throughout the week what you've left behind, what you're going to leave behind. And Spirit saying, oh, you are guided. Okay, so do not stress what's going to happen, what did happen, and how things are transforming for you. Because it feels like certain stress is due to what you left behind, or maybe due to what is inevitably having to be left behind moving forward. That's kind of altering your 100% confidence and hope in regards to the future of what you chose, what you're choosing, maybe both. And Spirit saying, let's get back to that confident, courageous, hopeful way of being, because again, you're manifesting. Surprised not to see the Magician on the board, but again, it's this feeling that there's a passion and a beginning on the horizon. You might be wrapped up with one currently, but again, your mind is on fire, and that can be your greatest tool, or it can work against you and hinder you all the meanwhile. And at times, maybe a bit of both, and you'll see evidence of that. But just as much as you would be honest with a friend, or maybe even your social media platform, community, all the meanwhile, if not multiple, let's aim that honesty towards ourselves, right? Where have we gone wrong? What could we improve upon? In a simplistic manner, how do we shift forward to see plentiful for ourselves? That was bad wording, but to see you end up with more than enough, because it feels like that's your destiny, and so we'll push you towards it however we must. But the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Swords, so 22 on the board, as well as 99 and 77. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a week where you're seeing repetitive numbers. Angel numbers in general, they can be jumbled, shuffled, right? It doesn't have to be just the same number or 2 numbers in a row, repetitive, repeating rather. But it feels like repeating numbers are a big part of your week, and so look them up, angel number-wise. But you feel a bit perplexed in regards to what lies ahead in the midst of a balancing act, in the midst of figuring out what's going to be right for you moving forward, in regards to what you have currently and what could be moving forward potentially. And so I feel like this state of being perplexed and a little bit out of the loop, I want to say, from your spirit guides, from spirit in general, the universe, leads to a state of clarity coming to be slightly. As you can hear the abrupt, noisy car in the background, it feels like there are certain times where you're thinking about certain stresses you left behind once again, and that one of which being for some noise factors, but then thinking about the noise factors and other Nine of Swords factors within what you have at hand currently. And Spirit saying what's up next is not going to be perfect, right? Even if it's a shift or a change and adjustment within that continuing situation, but you end up where you're meant to be for a reason. You end up wrapped up with who in whatever that scenario, that case is, for so many different reasons. You're going to feel like putting things into place throughout the week because certain other factors of your life, your future, are not fully or at all put into place. And Spirit's saying it's not a bad thing to desire to aim for that sense of control and I'm hearing comfort, right? About what lies ahead and what you have at hand, all the meanwhile. But just like everything, don't let that get out of hand, all right? There may be a couple moments throughout the week where little things like a noise factor, maybe a spiritual occurrence or something quick in movement, things that shouldn't or normally wouldn't alter your state of comfort energy-wise will maybe spark a sort of sudden reaction. That was a very wordy way of putting it, but you get the point. There will be moments where you will be a little bit startled. Don't let that alter any other aspect of your life, especially your confidence. And if need be, you just step away from a situation, but I feel like it's not that big of an ordeal. The Six of Wands and the Knight of Wands, because it feels like a week for you, my friend, where you are marching towards victory, marching towards more for yourself, even if it feels like you're marching in the midst of taking baby steps or crawling. It's all about you moving forward in the midst of reflecting and making the best and figuring things out for yourself, because it just feels like, once again, it's a very motivated week, a very determined week for you to head towards more for yourself. But Spirit's saying in the midst of certain lessons, reminders of who and what's not meant for you and what isn't actually working for you, allow that to also highlight what is actually working for you and how things are actually prospering for you and who and what's actually meant for you once again. But it feels like, to wrap this up, to go back to the last set of messages, you are marching your way towards more for yourself, towards a brighter future. And it feels like it's a time for you to recognize a lot of factors about your past, current situation, and future of importance. But it feels like Spirit's saying the clarity that does come in is going to be so illuminating that you have even more confidence by the end of the week and more courage all the meanwhile to shift on forward. Spirit's saying it's a very preparatory kind of week where you're reminded of what you're made out of, what lies ahead, and what you've been through all the meanwhile. Let's wrap this up, all right? So I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy your week, Libra, and I'll definitely see you next time.